I had a week off, and it's good now to get back into game week. We have a tough opponent in Oklahoma State. You look at the other night against Baylor. They had the ball 3 times inside the 12. They ended up getting a field goal, then they turned it over on downs, and then they fumbled on the one. But they had a really balanced offense with a run and pass. What we're going to face in the quarterback and wide receivers, very talented group, and then on defense, probably going to be one of the best fronts that we face all year long. So, we want to pound the football. So our challenge now is how we're going to move those big guys off the line of scrimmage. But we also did a lot of just a self-evaluation. And we know we've had our issues on defense, and I have a lot of confidence in Vance Bedford, and I know Vance is going to do a good job. And we had a lot of time just to sit down and just go by, just look at, the games that we played this season and just how much better we could have been. And I said to him, it's just 3 areas. We got to get better fundamentally. That's got to happen. We got to learn the concepts where our players just got to understand just the overall scheme and what we're really doing and what we're trying to accomplish instead of guys just lining up just to go play. And then we just got to devise a game plan where we can be successful and where we don't give up the big plays and we don't turn guys loose. And I told him, I said, I can live with a guy playing hard. If he make a mistake, then I'll take the hit on that with the mistake, because as long as they play hard, they play with a lot of energy. And it hasn't been where we hasn't played hard. We just haven't played very smart. And that's where we got it. And that's why I talk about just concepts where they understand and just totally be prepared. And we got to have our players prepared. And that's it. And it's on the coaches. And we got to do a better job. It's on us. We should have a better product. I look at it, and when we talk about me, just what I have a say with the defense is just personnel. I want to make sure just personnel that the right players are playing, and that we put the players out on the field that can make plays. It's all about playmakers, and there's the guys that can just run around and not afraid to go hit. And I know this, that I have a lot of ideals, and I got a lot of ideals that can make us a lot better with our scheme. And some of those ideals I've used, but now it's a lot more that we can use, and that will be very helpful, and that's going to be done. And I look at it as well, it's on me. I coach defense, I know defense, and I know how to stop people, and that's why it's on me also, just not only on our defensive staff. And we're going to get it fixed. I said we're going to get it fixed, and we're going to do that, and we're going to make sure we get it fixed. But it's still it's a process. It's all about getting better each and every day, and it's always about just working to get better. And that's not hard to do, because, like I said, when you have pride and you have energy and you play with emotion, then those things will happen for you.
Questions? Start up front with Dennis.
Coach, when you're talking about how you were going to get more involved, how much of your week was different? And how much do you have to sacrifice? You have a lot on your plate as a head coach here. How much do you have to sacrifice when you do get more involved in the D?
Dennis, what we did was I just sat down with our defensive staff. We just sat in the room and we talked, and we put the film up. And what I said to them is guys, you are accountable for your position. You are the head coach of your position. If your position don't play well, let's not look around. Let's just look at ourselves. And I said, and we got to get better results than what we're getting. I mean, we just can't give up the deep ball in the secondary. We got to be able to get off blocks with our front. We got to be able to run downhill with our backers. But it's not so much it took away from me, but I needed to get involved, and we needed to have those meetings, and that's why it was just so key and so important that we just sat down and just a self-evaluation. Just look at yourself. I said, what you had to just check your ego at the door. Some guys, you're going to get your feelings hurt, but I mean, it is what it is right now, and we got to get it better.
Front middle, Brian.
Charlie, along those lines, during the self-evaluation, did you ever give any serious consideration to changing defensive coordinators or elevating others or changing Vance's role?
Well, right now, Brian, it's just, you're 3 games into it, and I just didn't see it at this point how that would help us. I just thought more than anything it would hurt us, because now you're going to take a guy away and you just don't have enough guys. So now you're saying, okay, coach, now either you go coach the defense or you go elevate someone else, but then you're going to have to be more involved, which it doesn't bother me, but I just didn't think at this time how that would help us.
All the way on the right, Anwar.
Coach, I want to know how, Vance took, you telling him you're going to be more involved, and would like to know what your involvement is going to be on actual game days.
Well, Vance is a professional, and I look at his track record, and it's not like he just all of a sudden forgot how to coach defense. You look at him and I were together at Florida. We won a national championship together. Even before then, he was at Michigan. He won a national championship. He had outstanding defenses. He probably had, I think, at Louisville, we may have had the number 1 and number 2 defense in the country when we were there. So it's not like he's forgotten how to coach defense, but he's a professional, and he knows himself that we need to get better. And he'll be one of the first guys to say it, and he'll own up to it. It's not like he's running from it. And then on game day, I will, when we go into game planning, I will have some changes, and I'll be able to express what I need to say.
All the way on the left here, Mike.
Charlie, have you decided on any discipline for Kent Perkins yet? And do you have anything to say about that situation at all?
Well, with Perkins, and it's one guy that I was really upset, totally upset about it, and he himself, I never sat down with a player and he's gotten in trouble and he's like, Coach, I let you down. I said, no, you did not let me down. You let yourself down and your teammates. And I said to him, I said, the good thing about you, Perk, is that I just know that's not who you are, and that's not going to define who you are. And I said, you're going to be suspended this game. There's going to be counseling, and then it's going to be community service, and there's going to be punishment within our program. But I sat down with his family. The next day on that whole situation, just took up all of my time. But I just wanted him to know this, that I still believe in him, that I understand the situation. We all do. But I told our teammates, I had a team meeting, I told our players, I said, some of you guys were there, and if you ever see someone in a situation like this, let's help him out. Let's not put him in a bad position. But it is where it is. And I said to him, I said that, now you got to gain back the respect of your teammates. He apologized to the team. But Perkins will be here, and he's going to come in here later on. And he's going to stand up here and speak, and I know that just says who he is for him to come in here and be able to say what he needs to say.
In the middle, Kirk.
Charlie, do you feel like all the momentum's gone from your 2-0 start, and you're almost starting back from scratch, or?
No, Kurt, because it's just you have a different team with a different attitude now, and they understand now it's in the conference play now, so. Even the momentum is going to be there, so now they know they got to readjust their attitude, and it's going to be a total shift now because it's all about conference now, and everything. All games always count, but these games now they become bigger, and so we're on the road, and we're going to have to play well. We didn't play well the last road outing, but we're going to have to play well. But no, the momentum has not shifted at all, and we haven't lost it at all. Because the good thing about these guys, sometimes, we take it a lot harder than the players. I mean, for them, it's, okay, let's move on to the next one. For us, we kind of look back and don't want to let it go.
Question, raise your hand. Front middle, Brian.
Charlie, I wanted to ask about just the state of the Big 12. You guys starting the conference play now. It looks like the league is down this year from the normal standards. So given the tone of the last 2 weeks, wanted to ask you, build a case for why not y'all? Why can't you guys win the conference?
I say that to them. Why can't it be? Why not? Why not us? I mean, you look what we have, and we are a very talented football team, and we can make an excuse as being young. That's no excuse. You look at you have 2 quarterbacks that you can go with Bouchel and with Swoops. You have 2 power running backs that can run the football. You have an offensive line that. What's great with the offensive line is you have depth, you have wide receivers that you can win out on the perimeter. If we can run the football, if we can protect our quarterback, and if we can make plays on the perimeter, then you're going to have a chance to score a lot of points. Defensively, we got to get better. Up front, we need to get off blocks and we need to control the line of scrimmage. we can't get the ball thrown over our head in the secondary. We got to come up with plays. We got to come up with turnovers. We need to make plays on defense. And in the kicking game, you have a punter who's exceptional. You have a place kicker who's exceptional. So, why not us? And I say that to our players, take it one game at a time, and let's focus in on who we're playing. And let's just go out and go play for 60 minutes. Just go play for 60 minutes. Go play hard. And you're very talented. It's just a matter of us just, stepping out of that comfort zone. Step out of that comfort zone, guys, and let's go play. Let's go play fast. And I always tell them we are the fastest, most physical team in college football. Let's go prove it.
On your right, Chip.
Charlie, you said the defense will be different schematically starting this week.
It's just you can improve on schemes. What you have to be, Chip, is we need to be a little more multiple. You just can't walk out there, because what's happening with offenses is they're so sophisticated now. So if you go out and if you just show, hey, we're a quarters team and we don't play quarters, but if you're a quarters team, then you allow people to attack you because that's all they see. So you need to be a little more multiple. You need to give them different looks, and you have to be aggressive. And you can't sit back. You have to be aggressive, and you need to go attack people.
Do you think there was a confidence issue in terms of, you're a confident guy, you're an aggressive attacking guy. That defense wasn't really matching your personality, would you say, or?
But what happens is not a confidence issue. It's more of, hey, really, what can we do best? And let's get the right personnel out there, and let's go do it. And so if we are an aggressive attacking team that love to play man, go play man. I mean, but you know what your issues are, so let's go play man. But it's all about concepts, and it's all about who you're facing. And we know this now, that in this league, this week you're gonna face a quarterback and Rudolph who can throw the ball. You got Washington who 2 weeks ago just had an unbelievable game against Pittsburgh. But you're going to have that. You're going to have McCleskey. You're going to have guys. You have skilled players in this league that if you leave them in a one-on-one matchup, some they'll win. But we got to be able to win also those battles on the outside.
Back middle, Steve.
Coach, the off week, what was y'all's main emphasis on the field? Obviously, you need to commit some turnovers, get some turnovers made.
What we did, and we talked about. When you go back to that Cal game, and I told him, I said it's probably, which is a large number, it's probably about 10 plays in that game that we really just didn't play well, where we looked bad. And so even from a tackling standpoint to just giving up the big plays, and those are all fundamentals, a fundamental breakdown where you don't execute the coverage, where you don't make the right check, and then a guy's running down the sideline wide open. So it's about communication in the back end, guys. When we call something, if a guy don't get the check, hey, make sure that he gets it, and that, don't turn your back to him all of a sudden thinking he has it. But it goes back to a lot of times we assume so much, but don't assume it, guys. It's about repetition, and it's just about doing it just over and over and over. Oh yeah, it may sound simple, but you just got to continue to do it.
Front middle, Roger.
Charlie, when we spoke last week, you hadn't practiced. What was practice like last week after we discussed you riding the wave and all that, and then kind of got knocked down to earth?
What was great about last week, Roger, is we had their focus and they were locked in, which was really great, because usually on an open date you'll see guys kind of just go through the motion because they're saying, okay, we don't play this week, we go next week. But when we were out there on Tuesday, locked in, Wednesday, even Thursday, we had three really good days of practice, which was great. And I said, wow, at least we're practicing. So you don't want to see a loss, but it got their attention right away. And so now they know, hey, we got to get back on track, guys.
Stay in the middle, Ed.
Coach, the last 7 times Oklahoma State's played Texas, the road team has won. Can you explain why that has happened in this series, and does that play into the Longhorns' favor Saturday morning?
Well, you got an early game on Saturday morning. You're going to have two teams that are both, coming off of a loss, and they both want to go in and start. They have one loss in conference now. We haven't played a conference game, so we need to get going on the right track. But it's going to be a great matchup. Don't understand why, they can, last year we had our chance here, and then we end up giving the game away practically, and then we went up there the year before and beat them pretty good. But so it's all about how you get off and get off to a good start and make sure you play well. And we're on the road again, and you always talk about playing with great defense, and you got to have great defense. You got to be disciplined, but you have a great kicking game. But we just need to get off to a good start and make sure that our guys are just focused and locked in.
Left center.
Charlie, how comfortable are you with this offense being involved in what could be some shootouts coming up down the line? And also, what did you expect to make as far as an impact when you first came here defensively, and what's the reality been? Has it been tougher?
You know, Sid, I'm really comfortable with our offense. And, you know, a lot of people think that this is a pass-happy league when really it isn't. You know, if you watch the good teams in this league, it's a good mixture of run and pass because they're very balanced. And even with us defensively, we give up plays, but I still say this: you can prevent those big plays. If you play smart, you can prevent those big plays and put your players in position where you don't give them up. You know, a lot of times they're shootouts. Yeah, they're shootouts because we allow, you know, sometimes a one play, a guy throw the ball over your head for 80 yards. Yeah, and it's a touchdown. And that's what you can't have. You got to be sound. You know, you guys got to play well. We got personnel. We have really good personnel. So now let's get them to go play.
Far right, Anwar.
So, Coach, since you are going to be more involved in the personnel decisions, who are some of those guys that we might see, you know, a little bit more of? Are we going to see more like Eric Fowler, Brandon Jones, Hager? Just want to see some names you might be able to throw at us.
You want me to give you my game plan, huh? We'll see them. You know, I got some guys. I got my guys I put out there, you know. You'll get a chance to see them. It'll be fun watching them.
Do you have to do any rearranging or moving guys on the offensive line with Perkins out?
With Perk out, you know, what has helped us is that, you know, the second week against UTEP, we were able just to move some guys around. So that game is really, you know, where if we had an injury, we can place guys in. So now, you know, you have an Alex Anderson who's played, you have a McMillan who's played. So we're able to now, you know, put the pieces together because you still got, you know, Vahi's healthy, Connor's healthy. You know, you still got those guys around him. Shaq is back. You know, Brandon Hodges is playing well for us. So with us, you know, with Perk going down, we have enough bodies now and enough good players that we can put in place.
Back middle, Chris.
The college coaching carousel kind of got started a little earlier than usual yesterday. As somebody that went through a lot of those questions on both sides last year with Miami and this job, do you have any advice for those coaches? And also, what does the dismissal of Les Miles say about the win-now nature of college football?
You know, this is a tough profession, and the expectations are always high, and everybody wants a winner. And you know, I can't speak for Les because I really don't know the situation there. But you know what? It's why it's a challenge each and every day, and that's why you just go out and just go to work and just coach as hard as you possibly can and just go as hard as you can.
Back right, Alex.
Coach, how big of a game was this for Michael Dixon? Had the mistake at the end of the game against Oklahoma State last year, and now has improved to become the third best punter in the nation.
Well, you know what the thing about Dixon, you know, after that play last year, he kind of put that behind him, and you know he's a tremendous punter. And the thing about him, if he gets into a groove, it's no telling how far he can kick the ball. Or, you know, sometimes I tell him he outkicks the coverage and just, you know, hang it up there. Sometimes give our guys a chance. But it's just been fun to watch his development, you know, over these 2 years, and it is. He's only getting better. But he can do a lot of things, and he can place the ball wherever we need it placed.
Why are you laughing? Why are you smiling, Coach?
I just know that tone.
Well, one of your mottos is believe, Coach, and what I learned over the bye week is there's only one L in believe. You got that one L. How do you feel about that? And does this team need to be more tough mentally or physically right now?
Well, you like to think that we are a tough team mentally and physically, but it just comes down to, you know, we got to improve, and it's all fundamentals because but on both sides of the ball, you know we have our issues on defense, but even on both sides of the ball, offensively, we are some things that we need to get better at, and it is. And you guys just continue to believe in themselves. They have to believe in themselves first, and then their teammates to start believing in them. But we understand what's you know, with this conference game, how important it is, and it's a road game, but we need to get off to a good start.
Middle, Jeff.
Charlie, with the Big 12 travel rosters shrinking down now that you're in conference play, the conversations with freshmen about redshirting, have you had those conversations? Will you have them, or do guys already have a pretty good idea of whether they're going to redshirt or not?
They already have a good idea. We don't have to have that conversation. And, guys know here we 3 games into it. If you haven't played in 3, then there's a good chance that it's going to happen for you, especially if you didn't travel the last game.
Back middle, hang on, Steve.
Coach, I know that the open date came early for you this year, but it actually was probably about the best time you could have it, wasn't it? I mean, you got going into conference play and you come off a loss, but now you can make amends for that, right?
Well, it came early because you play 3 games, then you have a conference, then you got to go run off 9. And, the thing about it is, you look at the middle of your schedule, and you would love to have one once you get in the middle of it just to take a break. So, when you hit that schedule, it's all conference games. So you can't. And what happens is that later on in the season, you like to pull back a little bit, depending on your opponent, can you really pull back? But you want to make sure that we continue to keep our players fresh and just not wear them down, even though it's a 9-game stretch here. But we had to continue to keep them fresh.
In the front, Brian.
Charlie, you're sticking with your defensive coaches, you're sticking with your players. How much are you knowing that the players are looking at you and the message you're sending right now as y'all embark on this 9-game stretch?
Well, the players, when you look at them, they have total confidence. The good thing about it, Brian, when you build a relationship with your players, then it won't be no second guessing, and that's what I've preached to our coaches the whole time. Is just make sure you have a relationship where you understand them and they understand you. And even with our defensive players, they know who Coach Bedford is. They haven't lost any confidence or any faith at all in him. And those defensive players, of anything, if you were to ask them, they'll try to put it on themselves, which I won't let them put it on themselves. And, they'll try to say it's their fault. It isn't their fault. We just got to do a better job of coaching.
Roger.
Charlie, when you talk about getting beat over the top as much as you have, is there a tendency maybe to provide too much cushion? I mean, it's kind of a give and take thing.
Well, a lot of times, Roger, is they lose their eyes, and you can you're in zone coverage, and if you keep looking back at the quarterback and the receiver is racing down the sideline, and all of a sudden, if he's even, he's leaving. Is all I ever say to a guy. If he's even, he's leaving. And once he gets even and he runs past him and the ball goes up, it's a good chance it's going to be a touchdown or a big play. So it's all about where their eyes are, where their focus is, and just making sure that you understand within your zone how many receivers are there and what you're really looking at.
Charlie, you've preached a lot about senior leadership and accountability, and do you worry that your message isn't getting through when one of your top seniors and captains is out drinking late at night? And what are your rules on alcohol?
Well, Kurt Mayhew, he's a senior and he's old enough to drink, and that was and I would say this: I don't drink, so and I tell them all the time if you are intoxicated and you get behind the wheel, not only are you risking your life, but you're risking lives of others. And I said usually what happens in a situation like this is a person who gets hit is the one who ends up having a bad end of the deal when you're going to end up being fine once you sober up. And I said, that's where you got to be smart. And then I said to them, there was enough of our players, wherever you were, enough of you were around. Okay, let's look out for one another. And let's not let him wander off, and then all of a sudden we look up and say, hey, where did he go? I mean, there's a guy who's 300 pounds. I mean, how could we lose him? But, my stance on alcohol, I don't drink, so I have a pretty hard stand on alcohol. But well, I think that what guys do, and not that I'm defending him, but you don't want to see that happen at all to any of the players. But it's going to happen. But let's be smart about it, and let's make sure that, like I said, let's make sure we take care of one another, and let's make sure that we make the right decisions. Okay, if you're going to drink 1 or 2, boom. I always say if you take 2, then drink the first one, sip the second one, and let the third one go. But it's just something you have to talk about, and it's something you have to relay within the message within your team the whole time.
On the right, Chip.
Charlie, who's the leader of the secondary, and what's your sort of criteria for playing a young guy at safety like a Brandon Jones?
Well, my criteria with playing a young guy, I started 2 freshmen last year at corner, so corner, safety, wherever it is, whatever position it is, those they will play. When you look at a leader in the back end, you've had Haynes, who's been around, Jay Hall. Both of those guys have played a lot of football. But you're always it's always where you put these guys in position and they're able to go make plays. And Brandon Jones is a player right now who's blocked 2 punts for us, and he's got a lot of athletic ability. Really a special player.
Anything else?
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.